Recall, I've said that, the whole thing around Manchin, and in fact, we talked about it, this at some length in the second hour of the program today, is kind of a good news, bad news scenario, depending on how Democrats play this. Let me share with you how the right-wing billionaires are viewing this. This is from FreedomWorks. I'm on their mailing list. It's from Adam Brandon. He's the president, the CEO or president of FreedomWorks. And I just got an email from him. It's asking for money, as they usually do. He wants $20.22, a generous contribution. And they need this so that they can maintain the illusion of being a grassroots organization. But FreedomWorks was, one of the original front groups for the right-wing billionaire, petro-billionaire network. And so he writes, Thomas, you probably heard reports that Senator Joe Manchin allegedly just killed President Biden's Build Back Broke agenda. This is how they refer to it. They call it Build Back Broke. On an appearance on Fox News Sunday, Senator Manchin stated he'd be a big no on this bill. And, then he goes on to note, media elites, left-wing senators, President Biden are all on the attack against Senator Manchin to force him to change his mind. And, he talks about Schumer and then he says, so, Thomas, we can't start celebrating just yet. You see, unless Senator Manchin is planning on switching parties, he can't oppose the Biden administration 100% of the time. That's why I'm afraid this move on Build Back Broke may make it even more likely that Senator Manchin does the left's bidding on the filibuster and votes to ram their election takeover scheme into law. Which, by the way, is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. You'll recall the whole thing about the Freedom to Vote Act, which Joe Manchin is a co-sponsor of. These guys, they refer to it as the election takeover scheme of the Democrats. Continuing. Following this move to publicly oppose Build Back Broke, Senator Manchin will be looking to win back some of the good graces from President Biden and Senate Majority Leader Schumer. That's what makes the threat, Adam Brandon writes, FreedomWorks, that's what makes the threat of some kind of deal emerging to go around the filibuster to pass the so-called voting rights legislation so great. Even if Senator Kyrsten Sinema holds to what she has said and doesn't budge on the filibuster to pass the election takeover bills, all it would take is for Senator Manchin to bring one more Republican on board. Senator Manchin has been meeting with Republican Senators Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski in an effort to come to some sort of deal on, quote, voting rights. And then he goes through a rant about, what the so-called voting rights bill will do and force organizations like FreedomWorks to publicly disclose our donors so Antifa radicals can have a target list to go after. Right. Anyhow, so he continues in the letter. He says, so what we are really talking about here is rigging future elections to favor the Democrats. What is the phrase, the pot calling the kettle black, come to mind? Anyhow, so what we are really talking about here is rigging future elections to favor the Democrats, and their plan is to rig the Senate to get around the filibuster to pass it. That is exactly why the left wants so badly to pass this election takeover scheme. They know it'll help them win future elections. By the way, yes, it's not an election takeover scheme. Honest elections, fair elections, actually, paper ballot, every ballot counted elections, elections where Republican secretaries of state can't just randomly throw people off the voting rolls because they happen to live in neighborhoods that are heavily Democratic. Yes, it'll help the Democrats. Or let's say it'll stop the Republicans from trying. So anyhow, he goes on. This is exactly why the left wants so badly to pass this election takeover scheme. They know it'll help them win future elections. Senator Manchin does not enjoy being viciously attacked by his own party. He believes that if he can deliver them a win here on voting, they will forgive him for going against them on Build Back Broke. Of course, we know as soon as the left gains more ground by getting around the filibuster for their election takeover bill, they will keep pushing toward complete elimination of the filibuster so they can push through their entire radical socialist agenda. Yes, Adam, that's the plan. And I'd love to see it. That's obviously not radical or socialist. It is what the vast majority of Americans want, but it's clearly not what the right-wing billionaires want. So anyhow, just thought you would find that interesting and perhaps enlightening, that the right is quite frightened of Joe Manchin right now.